Tico Chinko Chawonki Solo. Ho 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 ho. Oh, what? Hello and welcome to 2026. I'm the Imperial Collector, Oliver Dean McCurry, and it's a new year. We've taken a few months hiatus, but we're back today with a special episode, and I've got some friends here with me. Today is a special Star Wars Animal edition of the Imperial Collector. Now, don't worry if you're a fan of Hot Toys. We're going to go back to some unboxing and some figure reveals. We have a few more to go from the collection, and then we're going to start reviewing the entire collection room. A lot of you have requested that and are looking forward to it, and quite frankly, I am too. It expands, and we've changed a few things, but me and Salacious are going to get to know a few of our friends here today, Star Wars animals. Now, normally when I go over something, I've got the information either that I remember just from being a huge Star Wars fan, or I've looked it up before on Google or Wikipedia, which is Wikipedia, but for Star Wars fans. Notice Wikipedia. Wikipedia.com is where you can find the plethora of knowledge of Star Wars. But today, because it's a special animal edition, I have a book that my wife actually gave me for Christmas, Star Wars Bestiary, which is about all the animals or beasts in the Star Wars universe. I'll show you that book right there. It was actually on sale with Amazon. So we got that for Christmas, and I love this book. So I'm going to read some passages out of there about the representation of the animals we're going to go over today. And we'll start. Let's go ahead and find here. You know, I guess I could have been smart and marked the pages ahead of time. But, you know, hindsight is 2020. Now, I know these lizard monkeys are in here. It's kind of weird the way that they're not necessarily, they're in alphabetical order, but they're under type of creature. So I've got to find one. There's one. Let me remember where that was. Page 128. Okay. Kowakian monkey lizard. That's my friend here, Salacious Crumb. And this is a representation of him in the book here, as you'll see. And I got to do something here with our light set up. For some reason, it's not looking the best like it normally does. We have a backlight setting there, and it's not working too well. Let's try to do something different here, or we might turn that off altogether. Just a moment. Let's take a brief pause and come right back. We're back. We had a little New Year technical difficulty there. So there's a representation in the book of the Kowakian monkey lizard. And I'm just going to read a little bit there about our friend here, Salacious Crumb. These multi-hued cantankerous creatures stand between 58 and 70 centimeters in height and weigh an average of 12 kilograms. They are native to the planet Kowak, where they eat insects, worms, and small rodents. They are highly intelligent and have developed the ability to mimic most languages, from Huttese to Galactic Basic. However, their most common form of communication is their wild, jubilant laughter. And this figure actually does that. Let's see. Heard him laugh right there. Their playful nature and eagerness to live among a family group make them popular pets across the galaxy. However, they must be monitored closely. Their natural curiosity can get them into trouble. According to the HoloNet, one Kowakian monkey lizard once wielded a blaster and even commandeered a pirate tank. And speaking of pirates, I actually have another friend here, and I want to talk to you about this one. So this is actually from Disney World. When my son and I took a trip there, actually almost a year ago, We went last February. Got several things there. One of the other items here is from Disney World, and then one of them is from Disney World that I ordered online. But I got this representation of Salacious Crumb, which you'll know him from Return of the Jedi, where he was with Jabba the Hutt. Sorry about that. He was with Jabba the Hutt, and he actually ended up ripping out C-3PO's eyeball. And I have a C-3PO figure with a little Salacious Crumb on top of him that's ripping his eyeball out. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we'll see that one. We will see that when we go over the figures in the collection room. But yeah, this is Salacious Crumb. He has a little button down here that you turn him on and off. And I'm going to go ahead and turn him off. But you heard him make those noises. He came with a little controller here that's hooked to him. And it basically turns his head. You can turn his head a couple different ways. And then press that down. And I've turned him off now. He'll make those different speeches. And he'll do that laughter. Now, I got him directly from Disney World. Now, another one of the Kowakian lizard monkey lizards that I have a representation of. I ordered this one off eBay. This is Pick Pick Muck Muck. Now, if you recognize him, and his batteries are actually dead, I haven't replaced those because he makes the same sounds that Salacious does, and I usually don't have them make sounds. They're usually sitting right behind me on my chair. He does the same thing with his movement right here, like Salacious does, except he does the different direction. And he'll open his mouth and he can say phrases as well. But Pick Pick Muck Muck is actually a pet of the pirate Hondo Ohnaka. And if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Hondo Ohnaka, who is voiced by Jim Cummings, who, if you know that actor, voice actor, he also voices Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. So he has a vast range of characters that he voices within the Disney universe and now the Star Wars universe. There's actually a representation of him as an animatronic at Disney World with the Galaxy's Edge there, and it's Jim Cummings' voice there also. And he's also a Darkwing Duck, so that's cool. So that is the Kowakian monkey lizard, and those are pretty awesome. So we'll move on to another one that I do have a representation of, and I only have them in representation of a Funko Pop. And these are pretty funny creatures. You'll see them in later the sequels. The Kylo Ren and Rey, those. The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Force Awakens. And I said those completely out of order. But these little creatures had a little bit of rough contact with Chewbacca, who also, I don't know if you can consider him a Star Wars animal. I mean, he's anthropomorphized, so he's more like a human, but he is a Wookiee it's kind of like an animal. But these little creatures that I have here, I have 3 different representations that they made in Funko Pop form, and there is a bigger one that I want to get that's actually a tall Funko. But these are called Porgs, and it's funny. In one of those movies, Chewbacca was sitting there and he was actually roasting one over a fire, and you see one of the Porgs come up and he's like, "Oh," it scared him. I think it's that one right there. He's kind of terrified of Chewbacca. But here's their representation in the bestiary book here, which is pretty cool. The illustrations and what it says about the Porgs. Not to get confused with the Borg, which they're not going to assimilate anybody. That's a whole different universe. That's Star Trek. Okay, Actos, adorable seabirds with their short yellow legs, stout white bellies, and big black eyes, now live far beyond the borders of the ancient world, having expanded their territory after a number of them stowed away aboard the Millennium Falcon aboard around 34 ABY, which is after the Battle of Yavin, where they promptly built a nest among the cables. In fact, they are even sold as pets in the creature stall of Black Spire Outpost on Batuu. Porgs feed primarily on fish, which they must procure by hunting with their claws because, curiously, they lack a beak, which is kind of funny. They're like birds, but they don't have a beak. Webbed feet help propel Porgs through water while also offering stability when rapidly running across Ahch-To's rocky terrain. And you'll notice that's where Luke Skywalker was when Rey first found him. when she was looking for the now retired sort of Jedi Master. These avians stand between 18 and 26 centimeters in height, with males measuring slightly larger than their female counterparts. Males are also distinguishable by the smattering of orange plumage located near their eyes. Both sexes have a dense coat of feathers, including a waterproof outer layer and a fluffier underlayer. This combination helps porgs stay warm in Octu's often bracing temperatures. So that is pretty cool about the porgs. And of course, that is here in our book as well. Bestiary, once again, here you can get on Amazon. And that's pretty cool. That's the back of it as well. So these are little porgs. And you'll notice, as we were talking about, this is a male, and these two are females. And they kind of did that representation, kind of like in the Earth bird world. Normally, males in the bird species are more colorful than the females. Okay, now, our last representation, this episode is a little shorter. This is just kind of to kick off the year. The next episode will be some more figure reveals. Now, this is the Loth Cat and the Tuca Cat. Let's go ahead and look those up here in our book. And we have some neat representations. And we're going to do an unboxing of one of those today that I actually ordered online the day it came out. I got a good deal with that Black Friday. And I got the Loth Cat that is now sold at Disney World. And it was cool that I was able to get that online. Let me find those cats here. Like I said, I'm usually really prepared, and I should have went in. Oh, well, that's interesting. They consider the Wampa to be a Star Wars animal. We do have a representation of him, as well as some other ones here. We might have to do a volume 2 of the Star Wars animals. Okay. The Loth Cat and the Tuca Cat. Now this right here, here's the representation you'll see in the book of the Loth Cat and the Tuca Cat. Now these cats are from Lothal, Loth Cat, Lothal. And you might notice that from Star Wars Rebels. One of my favorites among the Star Wars universe. It does have Chopper, which I love Chopper. If you've watched this show at all, you'll know I love Chopper and have many representations of him. He is part of Star Wars Rebels, the animated show, which you can find on Disney+. But on Lothal, they have Loth Cats and Tuca Cats. Now, this one I did get directly from Disney World when my son and I took the trip. And this one, his mouth opens, and he will do some hissing. And I think, yeah, it's kind of neat when you open his mouth. You'll see his teeth, and he hisses. You just pull his feet down. There was something. Oh, yeah. Push his tail. He does some growling there. Some of them are not friendly, but that's a Tuca Cat. This is kind of a plush, and there's hard surfaces too. Like his teeth are hard and his eyes are hard. That's him there. I do have his tag still on there. And you can turn him off under his underbelly, but it's kind of neat, the markings on this one. This one's more of a toy, I think, meant to be. But of course, I have them as collector's items. But I'll go ahead and read about the Tuca Cat and then the Loth Cat, because the Loth Cat's the one we're going to do the unboxing of direct from Disney World via the Disney World, the Disney.com and the Disney Store. Tuca Cats are a carnivorous species of felines found across the galaxy. The creatures have been spotted on Lothal, Coruscant, Sorgon, Tatooine, Zardosa, Styx, among other planets. Their popularity as pets He wasn't finished visiting everybody. He had a little bit more to say. Let's see. Their popularity as pets can be accredited for their geographic range, no doubt. Although they are aggressive in nature and considered by many to be wildly uncontrollable, Tuca can be domesticated with a bit of training, in which case Tuca can be domesticated with a bit of training, in which case I already read that. Wow. They will steadfastly provide their owners with an impressive means of pest control. They are known to feed on a variety of creatures from rodents to Nuna, and their affections can be won with a serving of milk, preferably bantha milk when available. Tuca cats rely on their dexterous paws to climb trees and to grab hold of prey. When frightened or angry, they are known to dilate their eyes and arch their backs to make themselves appear larger. A calm Tuca cat is relatively small in stature, measuring a little more than half a meter tall and almost a meter in length, and weighing 10 kilograms. Large mouths stretch the width of their face, pulling up the edges to give the Tuca cat an appearance of a permanent smile. This, combined with their cheerful purple, blue, green, and yellow coloring, or orange coloring, endeavors them to their owners and help to make them, for even domesticated Tuca cats, occasional fits of fury. So there are different colors of Tuca cats, and the one I have here is the one that is the orange color, which you'll see here as well. There's a purple color too. I wish there was purple. That's my favorite color. And you'll note that in throughout Star Wars Rebels, there are some Tuca cats, as well as some Loth cats, which Sabine Wren, my favorite character from Star Wars Rebels, she has a pet Loth cat. And if you actually look in the Ahsoka series, she has like a live representation of one. Of course, it's CGI. But that's the Loth cat that we have today that we're going to unbox from Disney World. And it's kind of a tan and white color. Hers is purplish in color, and there's actually a Funko that's like a pink in color that I have as well. But if you go to Disney Plus, there's a part on there where you can click on a sleeping Loth cat, and it's just a screen that will stay on your TV, kind of like the fire logs at Christmas, the crackling fire, and it's just a Loth cat just sleeping, and it'll like snore, and it'll make some little cat noises. It's kind of cute. Now, we'll read about the Loth cat, but first let's unbox this one. Now, it's funny. It came in like a galactic carrying case, which is really cool, and it's very stylized. It's not plastic, but it is kind of neat. It's a thick cardboard. Now, you'll see a representation of the actual cat on the back, and the box here is kind of neat, and you'll see him inside there. Spoilers. But let's go ahead and open this up. And it's kind of neat. Let me show you this on the side here. If you remember, Sabine Wren is an artist, and she does a lot of like spray painting and graffiti, and that's one of her graffiti artworks right there, because this is a representation of her actual Loth cat. And let's go ahead and get him out here and check him out. Now, he is supposed to be actual size, and he's kind of darn heavy. Let's bring him up here. Wow. He is a heavy guy. I think we're going to move pick muck here so we can get him set down and check him out. Okay, so he came in the box like this, sitting down, and these feet are like very, very strong rubber. He has a tail that moves around, and I read in there already the way to turn him on here. Let's see. Power. Okay. What we got here? He's purring. Let's see. I believe, well, out in the box I had the oh. He makes all kind of noises here. I think we'll move his feet down. Move his feet down where he can stand up. We'll see how tall he is. I'm sure they'll tell us in the book how tall they are supposed to be. Wow. He is a big guy. And he can also have his mouth open as well. Wow. Let's see. There was some way you do it here. Yeah, you can pet him while he's standing up, and he'll make different sounds there. And you can close his mouth, or you can open his mouth. There he is, right there. He is cute and quite funny. Oh. And vicious, as they said. There's the bottom of him. I did open him up there to turn him on. These legs are like, they're like chicken legs. It's funny. They're like a cat, and they're furry and stuff with fur, but then they have like chicken legs that are kind of a rubbery like. And he has a little tail here that moves. You can move that back and forth and up and down, so that's kind of cool. I think normally their tails are upright, so that's kind of neat. So hello there, buddy. He's kind of cool. We'll go ahead and have them sit there and maybe have his mouth open. And we'll read something about the Lothcat as our final Star Wars animal or Star Wars creature here with our Lothcat. We got to name him. What would we name a Lothcat? How about we have that as just a little bit of fun, you know? If you're a subscriber to the channel and you like watching the Imperial Collector, how about you come up with some names? Put them in the chat. Send them to me. And I'll pick one. Be careful. They can be dangerous. I'll pick one and we'll name our little Lothcat friend, and we'll stick him in the collection room here. And by the next episode, we'll have him named, and I'll let you know who got to pick the name. I'll give you a shout out here on the channel. It'll be a little fun here. Okay, so the Lothcat here in Bestiary with our last Star Wars animal. Among the galaxy's most captivating creatures, and one of the species I very much hope to see in the wild, Lothcats are a subspecies of the feline Tuca cat, so they are related. These furry mammals are native to Lothal. They use their sharp teeth and claws to hunt smaller creatures, including their preferred delicacy, the Loth rat. Lothcats have unpredictable personalities, sometimes greeting a stranger with a wave of their tail and a contented purr, and other times adopting a hunting position and emitting an enraged growl. It is the unpredictability that makes them so endearing. With Lothcats, okay, you purred a little bit. With Lothcats, one always knows exactly where one stands. Measuring just under 1 meter in length and weighing up to 10 kilograms, the Lothcat's most distinctive features are its triangular ears and wide, expressive tails. They are tireless hunters that have been known to stalk prey for days at a time. They prefer to live alone, joining with others of their species only long enough to breed and raise their young, which are known as kits. The Lothcat is rarely capable of domestication, and it should be noted that even in captivity, these felines are prone to destructive episodes. The famed Jedi Kanan Jarrus is said to have attempted to teach his Padawan Ezra Bridger by instructing him to train a temperamental Lothcat. It is also said this lesson ended up in the aforementioned Padawan being attacked, proving that Lothcats might seem adorable, but are often best left at a distance. And this one seems to have a mind of its own. But Sabine Wren did, as we know from Star Wars Rebels, she did domesticate her Lothcat. So she must have some skill that Kanan and Ezra did not. So there's our Lothcat. There's our Tuca cat. We have our Kowalkian monkey lizards that we went over. And we've just had a lot of fun today with our Star Wars animals and Star Wars creatures. I hope you enjoyed this little shorter episode that we have here in February of 2026. Oh, and I forgot to show you, if you've noticed, I do wear Star Wars shirts every time we film an episode. And I did have this one that has the Lothcats on there. So I thought that would be funny to wear. But next time we will have some more Hot Toys figure reveals. We hope you join us then. This has been episode 21, the first episode of 2026. Please like and subscribe the channel. We are right now at 77 subscribers. Thank you all for being a big fan, and I'm a big fan of you because you make this possible. Have a great day, and may the force be with you.